Okay, well here we are. The thought of your Marines dodging storm by themselves, that's happy thoughts right there.
That is.
Okay.
So one day, what'll happen?
Anyway, I'm very excited for this series. Spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map, it's the Russian Protoss Rail.
And spawning on the right side of the map, it is the red Terran player, souL.
souL versus Rail, a very serious match which could go either way, I feel. And, just, yeah, fantastic players, both of these guys. They both have very strong showings at times. I feel as if I had to pick a favorite, I'd say it's probably Rail, as much as I want souL to have success. I think TVP, Rail's pretty darn good. souL has struggles, unless he's looking very hot today. We'll see. Who do you think's gonna take it?
I'm gonna put my money on Rail. Short and sweet.
I think that's a pretty. I think that's a pretty solid bet.
Nikos requests a Warcraft 4 before Starcraft 3, which I think is probably fair.
You're getting Warcraft Reforged, though.
So we got Starcraft Remastered. So we're even again.
I guess that's
even
true.
Again. Yep, so it is going to be Warcraft 4 next. Warcraft 3 Reforged is going to be a ton of fun. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, Warcraft 4 would be good fun. It's gonna be
But
interesting.
Game paused.
Ah.
Lag, uh-oh. Uh-oh,
No.
is this where casters start getting the boot?
Better not be.
Fine on my end.
But you can't tell who it is.
You
'Cause,
can't.
like,
See, this is why we need a new StarCraft. That's one of the things they could introduce, like good lag diagnostics or whatever.
that'd be amazing if they released literally the same game, but it just improves the casting experience.
Yeah. Well, just the casting, the playing, because there's a lot of quality of life stuff, like the quality of life stuff that they've implemented lately, like going into Legacy of the Void and the big patches and stuff, like the new UI and stuff and other things. They've been very nice, but there's still a lot more they can do, I feel. Like, on the lag thing, like, you can be playing an arcade game or whatever in the arcade, and because of how everything has to be in sync, one guy can be lagging, just stuttering. You won't know who it is that's causing the lag. And then it can just go on and on and on, and there's nothing you can do about it, right?
Yeah.
It just ruins the lobby.
True fact. But I'm just saying, if they fix that stuff and they don't turn it into like just an update to StarCraft 2, that'd be insane.
It would be fantastic. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Stargate finishing up for Rail. I haven't seen many Stargates today, honestly.
We have not. Besides
Phoenix opening here.
Yeah, besides BCQT's games. I'm a big fan of this though. You know what my dream is? Mike Morhaime downsizes his yacht and buys StarCraft off Blizzard.
I don't know. Does Activision want to do that?
I don't know.
I think they're pretty happy with their monetization of it. I don't know. Either way, here comes some Hellions versus Adepts. Both units do light damage or bonus to light damage against each other. Reaper doesn't really fall into that group at all.
4 Hellions, 4 souL. 2 Adepts waiting to intercept. There should be Phoenix somewhere. They are waiting in the main base. So these Hellions, if they dive on in here, they could possibly get a lot done. They could possibly get nothing done. The Reaper is going to dive on in. The Adepts are pulled out of position. Here goes the Hellions towards that natural. There's a lot of probes there. That's a lot of potential for damage. 5 so far. Phoenix are coming on in, so souL will be shut down eventually after killing 7 workers.
Alright, so how's the math work out? 7 Hellions, or rather 7 drones, 7 probes for 4 Hellions.
And a Reaper. I feel as if that's okay. Look at the worker count now for Terran. That's pretty decent, I feel.
It is, but now you don't have anything to deal with the attack that's coming across the map is the problem.
It's just Phoenix.
That's true. I'll be fine with a handful.
there
Although
is
the Marine count doesn't seem super high. Are you gonna get lifted?
Marines
Four
can
Marines.
sacrifice themselves, though, in order to just eventually the Phoenix run out of energy, right?
Yeah. It's like lifting lings a little bit.
That futile effort. That's why I started to play Mass Oracle instead of Mass Phoenix, you know?
Yeah. So I'm impressed this Banshee's moving out. Like, we know that there are
wait,
Phoenix
wait,
on the field.
What are we missing? Oh, there's already a Banshee out. I did not see her pop out. I thought that was the first Banshee just getting out.
So it definitely got some damage done, which is fantastic. But
yeah, 6 probes. That's actually a fair bit. souL getting ahead in the worker count, and another Banshee coming in.
oh, what's the second one going to be? Second, I just don't see the second Banshee getting a whole lot done. Phoenix trying to take down a factory, which is not that easy for them to do. But lifting and killing a... oh, there we go.
Phoenix
Is
for
that a Cyclone?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair trade.
souL has 1 Banshee out. I feel as if he's waiting for a second Banshee to get out somewhere so that he can go in and one-shot the probes. As this Banshee has been waiting very patiently for quite a while now.
Super patiently. Turret up in the natural base. That's going to help a little bit there for sure. Main base. There's a turret there, but not really in position.
Oh, man, these Phoenix. Getting their licks in.
Delaying.
souL
Yeah,
just
man. Delaying
wants to get
production
his
on both of those
production up,
factories. A little bit.
Okay, these 2 Banshees. I love this kind of move from souL. He's like, yeah, there's a shield battery, but I don't care. I'm just gonna move in with 2 Banshees, gonna start popping off probes, and this could get a lot of damage done. Rail, he's gone up to 7 Phoenix. They're all across the map, however, because he's hungry to get damage done, and that's leaving him open. These Banshees are flying on in. Recall goes down. 7 probes dying. A split
Forcing
on the
the
Phoenix.
recall.
Yeah.
And you have detection available. Yes, Banshee does go down.
Yeah, this other Banshee is going to go down. 7 probes, pretty decent though. The worker count still in the lead for souL at this point due to that. And Rail just getting up his 3rd Nexus while souL already has his 3rd landed.
Alright, we are just as even as we can be at this point, despite all the damage that's been done on both sides. Both players have 3 bases. Army count very similar. Worker count fairly similar here too. Colossus here for souL, working on extended thermal lance. And is Rail going for Vikings at all?
Oh, the Phoenix. Oh, nice reaction
Nice
from
dodge.
Rail.
Yeah, beautiful dodge there, no question about it.
Yeah, the composition, while Rael has taken a lot of damage, he's playing one of the compositions which can just annihilate Terran and make them feel like their effort is futile because he's investing in these Phoenix. This Banshee comes on in again, by the way. Denying mining.
Shield battery helping.
Yeah.
I think 0 extra kills there. That Banshee got almost nothing done while we were watching anyway.
Yeah, 3 kills in total. Anyway, as I was saying, the Phoenix Colossus composition is incredibly lethal because the Phoenix will punish you if you overcommit as the Terran, and the Colossus require you to make a decisive engagement. You can't just say trade off with the Colossus. It's pretty much either kill all the Colossus or die, right?
Yeah, no running home.
And so while Rail, he's taken a bit of a bad spot economically, that's where I have a bit of hope for him in this game. Once that Colossus count reaches, like, say 3 or 4, it's very tough for Terran to deal with. souL throwing up a 4th command center while this is going on is a very mature decision.
souL still going for it, though. He's pushing across the map. He's going to try to do this. He's got a pretty big army numbers-wise, but the Colossus are something of an equalizer here versus the number of Marines that souL is trying to run with here.
Yeah, he's got a good count of Marauders, though. Oh, gotta be careful not to lose too many of them, though. This Observer, very useful for Rail, giving him positioning on souL's army.
Tank count 3 with a fusion core coming in here too. I have to imagine that's for extended defender mode range. Advanced ballistics. Good tank fire though. Beautiful tank fire. Pretty much unopposed there. Didn't really take anything in return. Attacking the main base. souL.
Oh, and getting a drop in there. Very nicely done. Shield battery helping out though. Look at that. Keeping that pylon alive. It even survives.
Yeah, pretty decent hold there for sure. Out of rail. Alright, so, working on the 2-2. Working on Liberators.
Yeah, Phoenix are very good at shutting down those drops. That's why souL has to be very careful about how he approaches this. He's got himself quite a decent position still economically. He's getting up to a 4th base that's going to be a planetary. So being up a base on a Protoss is absolutely huge for Terran Rails bases later. However, still he's got to plan a way to deal with this army, and the way that he's going to do that seems to be mass Liberators. Challenging the Phoenix with the Vikings is very tough because you have to invest into a significant number of Vikings to bring them down. On the other hand, Liberators, they can sit on top of your army, they can bully the Colossus back, and then also help you versus the ground army as well. So I like this decision from souL.
Yep, looks like it's working out pretty well for him thus far. Working on a Ghost Academy too. Do love ghosts against Protoss. EMP is exceptionally useful. Even steady targeting on some certain targets like sentries can be pretty great. But Fleet Beacon coming in from souL now. And likely it might just be going for Tempest here to deal with the Liberators that souL is producing. So Rail going for Disruptor 2, going for 3-3 for his ground army. I mean, this is going to be probably the first macro game of the day, surprisingly. We are sometime into this. So this is the first game that I feel like can get to 20 minutes.
That's a very valid point. What was the longest game we had, right? Probably
maybe 12?
PvP, BSTQT versus, who was it? That knocked him down?
Yep. Can't remember.
But
yes.
That Protoss player. Was it Goblin? No, it wasn't Goblin. It was Hellraiser. I want to say. And so, yeah, just very, very nice to have a macro game like this. That's why I was excited for this series. Both these players, fantastically fun to watch. And right now we're seeing souL. He's planning on going for a big drop. Also a big attack, though. Going to be moving on in. Got his Liberators. Got the bio and tanks. However, it is a little bit concerning. It is a little bit concerning, though, for souL, because the Protoss player is already tacking into this very scary composition. This is why sitting back versus Protoss is risky. As we're seeing, there's the mass AoE that Rail is starting to accumulate. He's making Disruptors on top of these Colossus, and those are very punishing to Terran. And then he's getting the Tempest to zone out Liberators. For now, he doesn't have quite a high enough count, but this is where the Protoss becomes very scary in the late game.
Yeah, this is what Terrans complain about more often than not, is this late game scenario where you've got charge lots with full upgrades, full armor, hard to deal with, Colossus doing tons of damage in there, Tempest sniping off Liberators, and the bio just tends to melt, then everything else can be cleaned up fairly handily.
Yeah, souL is still inching forward, but there we go, the Tempest. They can now start working away on units from afar. They really nullify the Liberator advantage. souL can't just sit around because he'll start to be whittled down by these units. And then you have to take a decisive fight once again.
Yep, just picking off Marauders, picking off Marines. If the Marines come up to try to deal with the Tempest, then they just get wrecked by the Colossus. souL does not like this situation. He's going to pull back and head on home. Liberator actually getting out of there too, a little bit prematurely. But yeah, Rail's holding. He's maxed out. He's doing everything he wants to do. And it might be time to engage as he is moving across the map.
Yeah, souL has a very good economy still, but if you can't beat the army, what good is the economy, right? So he's going to have to take a strong fight. He's building up a Viking count, which is very important, because if he can take out the Tempest, if he can take out the Colossus, then he just has to worry about dodging the few Disruptor shots. And it looks like souL is actually going for a base trade, so he isn't confident that he can take on this army. He's just going to be moving on in, pulling the Protoss out of position right now, and Rail recalls to one of his bases here. Recalls towards the 4th base, as a matter of fact. I guess the one that had energy. So a nice move for souL, actually.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Getting a base with losing pretty much nothing incredible, but at the same time, kind of scary attack coming on in now. Liberators trying...
Oh,
popped up.
wow,
Rail does
Rail's
not
going
care
for it.
about your Liberators at all here. Getting right on in. Everything on the ground is dying. Vikings trying to fight against everything, but Rail tapping out, not looking what he sees, and souL takes game
Already,
one.
wow, I'd stay to take a look at what he had at the end there, but I guess he was confident he lost that fight. Can't stay and wait, though, because these lobbies move quick, so we're going to get on into the next one ASAP.
Was there a drop in the main, too? I kind of feel like there was.
There might have been. I'm not too sure.
Anyway,
indeed, we'll get on into the next game as soon as we can, as this WCS Europe coverage continues on.
Yeah, Falcon Paladin and LaughNgamez here. Been here for a couple hours. Be here for longer yet. We'll also be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern for more Starcraft 2. Going to be Europe and NA again. Big long day casting over at Falcon Paladin's stream. And I'm going to be here LaughNgamez solo tonight because I have other previous engagements. So support him as he casts solo, which is casting solo live is very, very hard. So support LaughNgamez.
Thank you. Let's see, they're in the next game, so we gotta get in there. Lobby, go, go, go. Don't be full, don't be full. Loading,
Small
loading,
window.
loading. Yeah, it's close all the time.
So I'm in,
so
and you're
souL,
in. Great.
Taking that last game.
Nice.
Very nice indeed. It got a little bit dicey there, but in the end, he just pulled Rail out of position. He had a very good economy. And then Rail just sort of being forced into that fight. Like, well, he wasn't forced. He chose to take it, in a sense. And I guess that was a bit of a mistake from him. I don't know what to say, really. But well played by souL.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Okie dokie. Anyway, here we are. It's a best of 3. He's got himself the 1-0 lead. He's the Polish Terran playing for Team Emkers. It's souL.
And spawning in the bottom right, it is the red Terran player. Oh, hang on, you just did souL. Top left. What camera? Again, cameras are hard.
Okay,
Top
no
left, it is
that.
the blue Protoss player, Rail.
All right, yeah, very well done by Rail. And souL, is he going to be going for a command center first, or is it just going to be a barracks into gas? Looks like it will
That's
just be
barracks.
that, so no gas first or anything. Big map like Cyberforce, that is to be expected. And if you guys can excuse me for a second, I'm just going to set you on Falcon Paladin's cam while I step away for a second. Should be on his cam there. There we go. We are following you for a second, and I will step away.
All right, sounds good. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, no proxies, nothing crazy going on over here at all. Rail actually not saturating his gas. I find that very, very interesting. He's now getting it started here just by the probes that are coming out of his Nexus. He doesn't need the gas early, which makes me feel like, yeah, there's the Cyber Core into the expansion here from him, and he'll get his second gas a little bit later than he normally would. 2 workers on gas. souL, he's got the Marine opening, not going for the Reaper opening here, which again is fairly easy to shut down his Protoss, and it's just for scouting purposes. It is really important, but otherwise, rah. And there's your expansion out of souL as well. So both players kind of gearing up here. I'm kind of shocked that game 1 ended as soon as it did. It just felt like both players had fortified bases. We were going to move up to a really, really solid long macro game with his one decisive attack out of souL. Really just wiped out a base, made it happen. And Rail was forced to come back and fight another day. It's a best of 3, so losing one game is a pretty big deal. Not the end of the world, but still not something you want to do. Factory on the way, second gas here for souL, nothing too crazy there either. Throwing up a shield battery in the mineral line, That's very interesting. Is he worried? Oh, he's pushing out with his Adept and his Stalker, and if a Reaper comes by, he needs to keep his guys alive, and that's what the shield battery is for. So early pressure here. They can actually delay construction on this command center just temporarily as the Adept comes rolling in. There's a Marine out, but nope, not going to be able to stop this. Expansion delayed. Mission accomplished there for Rail. Cannot get up the ramp because of the wall. Very nicely done by souL, but if there wasn't a wall there, it'd be a really, really bad time for this Marine, I can tell you that much. Stalker coming to join the party, not quite as fast as the Adept is, does not have that shade ability. Rail's following this up with a Stargate. And souL has a Starport coming up here too. Widowmine popping out. Very interesting. All right, they say, fine, you just want to leave us alone while we try to knock down your natural. Cool, too. He doesn't have blink. He has no way to dodge the warp or the Widowmine hit unless it's an adept. And the adept dodge is really hard to pull off. It takes some really exact timing.
Yeah,
and Warp Prism survives.
Looks like a comeback to souL having a bit of a rough time here.
Yeah. Trying to focus down the Warp Prism, couldn't quite do it. Got an SCV though, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, this is
Warp
not
Prism
a
gets repaired.
spot.
Or Widowmine comes up after getting repaired. That was amazing. So it just delayed the expansion for a good, I want to say, minute there. Oh, and a forward pylon. Rail is not done with his aggression yet, as an Oracle is coming out next.
Yeah, sorry for having to step away there for a minute, guys. Just don't want to do it like at the end of games or whatever, in case we say miss like a lobby or whatever. So we are. Well, I'm back now, and what's been going on this game?
It's been really crazy aggression with gateway units and now oracles out of rail. There's a tank out, there's a handful of marines here. If the oracle can burn down the tank, that'd be hugely important as it is joining the party. You have to worry about that Widowmine though. I'm not sure. The oracle's like, where is it? There it goes!
Whoa, he actually, that looked almost intentional tanking that.
But he ran away with it. I don't know. That was not worth it. One Widowmine for an Oracle? No. Definitely not.
Oh,
now souL feels brave enough to move out. Tank shots are going to start raining down on these Stalkers sooner rather than later. And there it is. Adept taking a full shot to the face, too. So, yikes. That was a little bit weird from Rail.
Vikings even landed here. Okay. Looks like souL sending Rail packing, and he might be turning this on its head for Rail as Rail throws up a third base in the front of this, but this is a Terran who's making tanks, Vikings, and Marines. That's one purpose. Oh, the stasis!
Decent stasis there. Not quite enough, though, really. Still a ton of stuff there. And souL continuing his push. Marines, tanks, landed Viking, flying Viking to deal with that Oracle if necessary. This third base of Rail seems like it's in a bit of trouble here. As I mentioned, mostly gateway stuff here. All entirely gateway stuff here. Doesn't do well against Marine tank, but the Stalker flank attack.
Tank's a little bit late
one
to
of the
siege
tanks
there, I feel. And tons of zealots getting on here. Did souL overcommit a little bit too much?
He's going to lose a lot of stuff. Nice job picking off that Oracle again. Oracles, my goodness, just don't have the time of day to live here, it seems like. So Stalker's going to fight against Marine tank. Again, not what you want to do. Marines are... Tank getting some decent shots off. The Zealots going after that guy. They do finish him off, and all the Marines are down. And Rail manages to hold while getting a third base up at the same time. So Rail in a pretty darn dominant position, I'd say, right now. Worker supply is about the same, but souL doesn't have a third base. souL is oversaturated at his bases. And Rail can send excess probes over to the third and happily start mining from there as Cloaked Banshees come up from souL next round.
Yeah, this is looking a bit rough for souL. He did commit a fair bit to that attack, and maybe it could have worked out, but those tanks, they really did siege a little bit too late, so they didn't get shots off on that army quick enough. And now we see Rail, he's really got control of this game, it would seem. Double forge out for Rail. Currently just one upgrade going, but he's got room to go for that sort of tech now. He's already got Blink getting charge on the way, getting up a Robo now as, well, this game started with a lot of aggression. Rail has control here, and oh, he might even be able to delay Stim. Actually, looks like he's going to be going for Cloak here. As
wow, the SCVs really wanted that Cloak finish.
They did, yeah. Now, what is there? There's an Oracle back at home, so those Banshees, they shouldn't be able to get too much done despite souL having two of them here for Cloak. There's there's two Stalkers and a Sentry. That should be enough to prevent them from finding a lot.
The Oracle's flying away, though. I'm not sure where it's going. Maybe just kind of patrolling around a little bit.
Oh, Oh, souL cloaks the Banshees. He's actually heading towards the natural. There's a shield battery, but nothing else there. These Banshees very well may be able to find a bit of damage despite Rail knowing about this. Nicely done. souL comes in, gonna be able to start popping off those probes.
Now they're revealed, and now the Phoenix is gonna have a great time picking them down. It's a low going for the Phoenix, but we'll get there eventually. There you go. So shut down after getting several probe kills there. Let's take a look real quick. 7 probes have gone down in the game, which is decent damage, but nothing game-changing, really.
Something I feel to note in this game that's probably pretty important is the fact that souL's going to have Stim soon. While the source of AoE is actually a fair ways away for Rail, dare I say. I mean, he's getting up Immortals, he's got Charge, and getting up his upgrade, so he'll have 1-1. But as far as AoE goes, there's just Templar Archives on the way, and that hasn't even begun researching Psystorm yet. So a potential souL attack could be pretty scary here, I feel. Double Medivac crossing the map here for souL, so looking to get some harassment on, but oh, they could run right into a group of stalkers. It's so close. Oh.
Yeah, that was dangerous for a second there.
Those two missing each other might run into this Phoenix. Oh my god, this is a lucky Medivac.
Wow. Not even that far from home yet, and has to dodge death twice.
Another group of Medivacs going to be moving out to souL, really trying to keep the pressure on his opponent. From the looks of it, he was planning on starting a 4th command center as well, so just similar to the last game, he seems to be willing to macro up here a fair bit. Maybe not with as good of a position as the last game. However, he is going to be going in with 2 drops right now and forcing a Zealot Warping at one base while going to be moving in with a drop at the other. This is actually beautifully timed for souL, possibly. Ooh.
And he needs to do it, though. He stopped. He's moving into the 3rd. Nice pylon.
Oh, gets a Forge as well, and then pushing in towards the 4th base. Is souL going to be getting a lot of damage done here?
Oh, he left the Widow Mines for some extra damage. Just an extra little present. Lot of probes getting massacred.
A Warp Prism going to go down as well. The Oracle getting picked off. That is absolutely massive amounts of damage done by souL.
Yeah, 35 probes have gone down.
Oh my god, just then? Oh my god.
Well, no, but in the whole game, but probably 30.
Yeah, Rail is down to 35 workers after that.
Yeah.
souL scanning again. Wow, no.
Main base has a drop.
Oh my gosh, again. Okay, not anymore. However,
no, there was.
That was absolutely just souL already did so much damage. A Protoss can afford, when a Protoss has a Chrono Boost and such on well-saturated bases, they can afford to lose a few workers, but that was far too many going down for Rail, and it looks like he might be looking to put the pressure onto souL now. Has he just had enough in deciding that he has to go for it? souL's looking to secure his 4th base, Rail's looking to push on in.
That is a lot of Zealots, man. Holy crap.
29 Zealots.
Gee. Does he have to go is the question.
Oh, high
the feedbacks. Oh, the feedbacks. Oh. All right, Rail's decided. It's time to go. Shut down that 4th base.
Oh.
Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah, I feel as if ow, ow, ow is right. Rail's whole body hurting just as he's just been hit hard in this game. He's now looking to push on into the 4th base, which he's given it his all. He forces the base off the location. However, he's not able to kill it, has to commit a fair bit to get that done, and still not finding what he wants. His souL is just playing defensively for now and doing well with it.
Yeah, Rail is really trying to shut this base down. souL is not interested in allowing that to happen.
Oh, that command center.
But again, oh my gosh, the storms are so good. The bio's not even really dodging it.
souL planning a drop towards the 4th base of Rail. There's a few High Templar there waiting to intercept this, though. We'll see if they're able to get the job done. That is pretty overstimmed bio, so the Ice Storm.
Nice.
Look at this micro from souL, though. Just being a pain there.
And try to kill as much as he can. Worker count 69 to 61. Rail's been coming back. Chrono Boost is pretty good. And gets a High Templar for his time, losing the medevac and everybody else, though. So Rail coming in again for another attack on this 3rd base. He's got his High Templar, he's got his Stalkers, he's got a Colossus now, which he's very happy about.
souL going for a drop flies right over an Observer, so Rail should know about that. He's got.
He is. He's moving into position. Maybe feedback and then Archon what's left here. 3rd base under attack again, though. Storm on the bio. Pulling back, the drop on the left side does get chased away a little bit there. souL is not interested in moving in where Rail knows where he is.
Yeah, Rail took a lot of damage to the first round of drops from souL. However, from here on out, he's been playing a very solid game, keeping the pressure on souL, keeping him pinned, and defending all the drops adequately. I mean, as I say that, this bio is heading in towards the 4th base, and it looks like souL's finding himself a Nexus here. A Colossus and an Archon are the only units around, and neither of them are going to be able to save that base. The Archon goes down. Worker's going to start getting picked off now, and even if souL loses this drop, picking off that base is absolutely huge.
Massive. Stalkers in the main base. You pick off one of the medevacs. Unloading here is pretty much instant death, but try to take as many Stalkers with you as you can. That is the goal of these Marines, and these Marines actually okay for themselves here. The charge lots are more of a problem, but attacking on into the 5th base too. souL is everywhere, but Rail was there to shut that one down pretty easily.
souL has himself a 5th command center on the way. He's now getting into Ghosts and Vikings. So getting everything he needs to counter what souL has. And until there's Disruptors out, there's really nothing which is going to really shut down what souL has, just with the Mass Liberators, the Vikings, and Ghosts. And it looks like Rail's thinking of stepping on in, but he cannot go in there. Oh, souL pulling his drops back. souL got a drop here.
He's just been everywhere, man. And if it doesn't work out, he picks up and goes somewhere else. So Rail has the army lead for sure, but worker count's going to souL. He's got multiple bases here. He hasn't lost one yet, which is hugely important. He has sensor towers up to know when the attack is coming in from the Protoss. He's working on Ghosts, working on another sensor tower here. He's just everywhere he wants to be. Already a planetary fortress up here for his 5th. And here comes Rail again. So many Zealots in the mix.
Oh, those EMPs and snipes on so many Zealots. souL saying, why not? I'll snipe all your Zealots there. As the army supply of Rail drops significantly. And souL's rolling on up. He's got tanks and Liberators. Not the most bio with this because a chunk of it's dropping over towards this 3rd base location. High Templar are there. But Psystorm alone can't clean up these drops. There's going to be a few cannons to help out, but Rail knows that it's over. GG, just like that.
Wow. And that's your 2-0.